Welcome back to 5 Minutes of X, where 5 usually means somewhere between 5 and 10. I'm reading every mutant comic Marvel ever made, month by month, and this week we kick off the best Sentinel arc of the classic X-Men era. Here we are in April of 1969, and on the 10th, Marvel drops one X-Men book, number 57. Some cool and interesting credits on this one. In the main story, we get another Neal Adams. God, I'm just so excited. Just another beautiful issue on pencils from him. Roy Thomas wrote the main story as well, and the final backup story has an interesting real-world twist. We would be starting the Marvel Girl backstory, but we kind of got that already in issue 1 of the X-Men and a few stories peppered into the main book. So we get a spotlight on Jean, but this is the last time we get that 5-page backup section. The backup was drawn by Werner Roth and was written by Linda Fite. She's a new artist to this particular channel. Linda was a good writer, but only wrote like 10 books for Marvel. She was mostly known for writing a 4-issue mini in the 1970s for them, but it's one that I haven't actually read. It's Cat. I haven't actually read that. So while I champion having a woman writer on this backup story, especially one about the female character, this felt very shoehorned in. This is a text box pointing out that they specifically added a woman to the writing here. And it's great that they did, but the way they did it makes it obvious that Marvel was just behind DC at the time regarding writing from the fairer sex. DC already had a woman editor at that point, and Wonder Woman was created by and mostly written by women by 1969. So, it maybe would have been better for them to just not mention it. I don't know. I'm just viewing this from like a modern lens. And I do keep that in mind, especially since Marvel has done such a great job of having people from all backgrounds and genders over the years. So just something to keep in mind. This issue actually has another problematic moment that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But let's start with that backup story with Jean. Okay, so the Jean backup is a series of small pinups that highlight her power set. We've seen that before with other characters. We just kind of get it here for her. So we get a fun joke about her telekinetically turning the page. It's kind of fun there. On the second page, Jean is unfortunately using her powers to cook and clean. Moving right past that, though, we get cool examples of her powers escaping from shackles, escaping from locked rooms, even a fire. We also see her using her powers to like land gently and jump as we and also scrambling the brains of this poor fella here. I guess he made some poor choices in life. We end with her stopping a purse snatcher on the streets of New York City, a la Spider-Man. It was kind of a cool little ending to that. Moving on to the main issue. The Marvel app opens with this warning about a racial slur that will be used in this issue. We'll talk about the slur in a minute, but I want to point out that I am super, super happy that the Marvel app printed this as it appeared in 1969. They didn't block anything. They didn't cover anything up. Disney has a history of censorship of older pieces of art. It's just awesome to see here that they've given the reader a heads up and that they don't censor the creation itself. I've looked ahead a little ways. There's a couple issues in the 80s where there's some really racially charged language. And it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes they cover it up, sometimes they don't. But here they didn't try to hide it at all. So we'll get to that in a minute. Our splash page shows Lorna getting attacked by a Sentinel. Oh yeah, Sentinels are back. We cut away to the Egyptian desert and we see Alex just absolutely freaking out about his uncontrollable power set. Professor Ahmet Abdul has been depowered from both being the living monolith and apparently the living pharaoh as well. He sits on a horse here and has called the authorities to on the X-Peeps. He blames them for the destruction of that temple. This is the perfect villain play. Like, he lost, but he's still a threat and a very naughty boy to boot. The X-Men defend themselves and Alex runs off in a panic. Cyclops blames the Egyptian authorities for this and straight up hurls a racial slur at them. YouTube won't let me say this racial slur, even within its context, because they kind of can't tell the difference. It's a slur used against Middle Eastern people, and it's jarring to see on the page. To my parents, if you're curious which one it is, you can text me and I'll tell you. Alex runs into a cave, and he too gets nabbed by a Sentinel. The X-Men call Lorna to ask her to turn on the Cerebro device in order to find Alex, but they have like a little TV visual there, and they see that her apartment is completely trashed from the Sentinel attack. Bobby has another freak out, and we have, hold on, they have yet to go on a date. There has been no clarification about this girl. There's been no clarification about his dating the girl back in New York City either. It's like, what's going on here? But I mean, I understand reacting this way for a teammate or somebody you care about, but this is just like kind of way over the top. It's just a weird thing or whatever. I don't know. It's important to react if a friend is kidnapped, but this reaction is just way over the top. Okay, so Beast and Iceman take the Avengers jet to go find Lorna, while Jean, Scott, and Warren stay behind to find Alex. The rest of the issue actually covers the Beast and Iceman story. They get to Lorna's apartment, and it is indeed trash. The cops are there already, and the X-Peeps are still fugitives from like 5 issues ago. So Bobby ices the cops' guns, and the response from the police includes a fictional racist term. The cop actually just calls them both muties as he throws a chair at them. Another cop standing behind the chair throwing one asks this guy to sort of calm down, but the damage is done. Beast and Iceman fall from this New York high-rise apartment. They are able to stop their descent and get to the safety of an apartment Scott has. Never mentioned why he has that apartment, but it doesn't matter. They turn on the TV and they see a news report about a judge who has ruled that mutants are considered a threat to humanity, a menace. Larry Trask is brought in to speak on the mutant issue. His father, Bolivar Trask, was the man who invented the Sentinels to begin with. We saw him die saving the mutants after his Sentinels got out of control when they were first introduced, way back in issues like 14, 15, and 16. Larry Trask, the son, is given the opportunity to speak about his father and how horrible mutants are on the national television broadcast, and we cut back to Bobby and Hank watching the report as a Sentinel looms outside their window. Just an awesome cliffhanger on this one. The way the story is told here just absolutely rocks. The Living Pharaoh turn ending, like the story into a valid reason to call Lorna, and the Sentinels appearing from all angles at once is just a really great way to start a new arc. The writing here is top notch, and when you add in that amazing art from Neal, it is a certified. Hell yeah, dude. This issue just rocks. The page layouts in this issue alone are so far over the top. It's just awesome. They're rarely squared off or at 90-degree angles. The posing is kinetic and frantic. I mean, like, look at this page with Scott, or the Bobby freakout page, or the Hank falling page. I could highlight like the entire book, really, both in art and in writing. And I think the only real nitpick I have here is that Bobby react over Lorna. The X-Men at this point are leaderless teenagers who keep getting hit blow after blow after blow. They've had zero peace since Charles died. The cops are after them. The government is after them. There are villain mutants after them. And now the Sentinels are after them. It's just an exciting time to be an X-Men fan, and this issue just absolutely crushes it top to bottom. Cerebro is powering down for character info, reading lists, and proof that I have too many other nerdy projects going on at once. Head on over to Jordy.com. New episodes drop Wednesdays at noon and Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Remember, when it comes to Sentinels,